Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of editors of ENR, it is my privilege to present the 51st Annual Award of Excellence to Jason McLennan. Come on up, Jason.
After that video, I had to take my glass of wine up here. I was getting choked up, so I thought this would help. First of all, thank you so much. It's an incredible honor to accept this award, and I'm very thankful of ENR and all of its editors for believing in this vision of a living future. I've enjoyed getting to know all the editors more recently, Jan, Luke, Tom, Scott, and others, and it's a very special group. I want to, in particular, thank a real troublemaker, which is Nadine. Some of you know Nadine. And she's been a tireless supporter of green building for many years, and the most thorough reporter. I can't believe the questions that she asked me. But I greatly appreciate her and her persistence, so thank you, Nadine, for everything. Joining me tonight are several friends and colleagues that have come from different places. You know who you are in the audience. Thank you for coming to support me tonight. It's so wonderful to have you here. You know, in particular, I'd like to thank Tom Knittel and Dale Duncan. They're sitting over here, my two business partners at McLennan Design. And guys, you know, it's wonderful to practice with you, and the fact that we share this belief about what we can do together, it's really powerful. So it's a real honor to have you guys as partners. So thanks for joining me in my crazy adventure here. You know, over the years, like a lot of you here, I've had many great mentors, including the ultra-wise Bob Berkebile, who was on the video, many others that I can't mention, but certainly my parents, Sandra and Fred McLennan. And in my mind, this award is really for them as well, for all their support and guidance over the years. But perhaps, above all the others I want to thank and honor is my wonderful wife, Tracy. Tracy, if you want to. Tracy has been an unwavering rock for me, as I've done a lot of crazy shit over the years. Am I allowed to say that? She's been my best friend and my confidant, and seen me at my worst, which happens too much probably, and every stage in between. She's helped me raise 4 incredible, beautiful kids, and usually taking the lion's share of the burden. As I travel around the world. Thank you for cheering. You know, they don't give awards of excellence to partners and mothers, but they should. And if they did, Tracy, this would be your award. In this room are a lot of CEOs and leaders of companies out there. You know who you are and how busy you are. And I just would ask you to please remember to appreciate the woman or the man who stands behind you and makes your success possible. Because we couldn't do it without them. Now, when people ask me what I do for a living, I often have a hard time answering them with a straight face. And usually I tell them that I'm a troublemaker, which is a little bit cheeky, but isn't really that far from the truth. I've spent most of my career trying to disrupt the way we conventionally do things in the building industry in order to create better outcomes for people and the environment. And as Bucky Fuller once said, if you want to change, make that which you wish to change obsolete. And that's been a mantra of mine for quite some time. Throw a better party. I'm an environmentalist, But I don't believe in using guilt and shame to get people to join the cause. I believe in using inspiration and hope and creating better examples today of the future that we need. Successful green building is not about having to put on a sweater and being cold. It's about creating better buildings that are better in all ways and are more successful than conventional buildings in all ways. And when it's better and equal in cost, we win. I'm an architect, but I believe that the ultimate success of design is not found in creating monuments to ego, but in creating places that are great for people of all backgrounds and income levels, and all of life and creation. My partners might not believe this, but I actually am a realist. It's just never stopped me from spending all my time dreaming, but having lots of actionable steps to get there. You know, if we want a truly sustainable, beautiful, healthy world, it's going to require something more of us. It will require us getting in touch with the best versions of who we are. It will require a sustained awakening of the human heart. When I started my career, green building was not cool. In fact, it was often ridiculed and actively resisted at all levels of our industry. Yet thanks to the incredible work over the last 2 decades of a lot of pioneers that are not in this room but deserve this award as well, things have begun to shift. Sustainability in green building, whether it's LEED or otherwise, has fully entered the mainstream, at least in part. Yet it's clear when you look at global ecosystem decline and climate change and other indicators that we haven't gone quite far enough. And this truth has guided my career. So I did a crazy thing in 2006, and armed only with a short 30-page manifesto that was to become the Living Building Challenge, I quit my architectural practice in Kansas City to dedicate the next 10 years of my life to jump-starting the green building movement, to go further than LEED Platinum, net zero energy, net zero water, and demonstrate what true sustainability could be. And people did think I was a little crazy. That's okay. It's okay to be considered a bit crazy. Yet the Living Building Challenge is now being used worldwide. We've crossed 12 million square feet of projects that will never have energy bills again, that have zero carbon footprints, zero emissions. And they're just the beginning of a revolution. Now, along the way, we've had to change water laws and regulations because in many places, in fact, every place in the United States when I launched it, what I was proposing was illegal. So we actively worked with jurisdictions and changed the way things were done. We worked with manufacturers to reformulate their products, to get rid of carcinogens and things that make our loved ones sick, to make construction safer for everyone. Major corporations like Google and others that you know have adopted our red list, and it's very inspiring. It's an exciting and growing movement, and all of you today in this room are invited to participate. Now, as mentioned in the video, and there's some great clips of the Bullitt Center, which is, you wouldn't think this when we're in downtown, Manhattan, but it is larger than 90% of the buildings in the United States. And in the least sunny city that we have in this country, it generates 30% to 40% more energy on an annual basis than it uses, all with solar power. It's a Class A office building with no sewer connection that makes soil that doesn't smell. It's cash positive, fully leased, with normal market rental rates, was financed traditionally, and proves, in my opinion, that this is the beginning of the end of the fossil fuel and combustion era. Now, some important things to understand about how the world is changing fast. Some of you know these stats, but 2015 marked the first year that more renewable energy capacity was added globally than fossil fuel capacity globally. This is probably just the first year of a new permanent trend. Just like that, renewable energy is no longer a niche. It's flipped that quickly. Renewable energy is growing as an industry 12 times faster than the pace of our economy is growing, and now employs more people in the United States than coal employs in the United States. We're crossing over with grid parity in market after market around the world, which means essentially that it's becoming cheaper everywhere to install solar and wind than it is to install conventional energy sources. And when it's cheaper, we win, because it's cleaner, it's quieter, it's safer. And we're beginning to do with buildings what companies like Tesla are doing with cars, which, if you're paying attention this week, Tesla sold nearly 500,000 cars in 1 week for a vehicle people can't even get their hands on for 18 months, that they don't, I think, know really how they're going to actually make all these cars in that time frame. But it is a signal to the entire industry. And we all remember when the iPhone came out, right? And it changed the game with smartphones. And within a couple years, smartphones was the reality everywhere, right? And there were smartphones before the iPhone. But until they became better and affordable, they couldn't survive. But when they did, they won, because they were better, and the change was rapid and it was complete. And the same thing is going to happen with electric cars. They used to suck. I know, I drove one in the 90s and it sucked. And I drive one now, and boy, it does not suck at all. They're better in every way than internal combustion vehicles. They're quieter, they're safer, and they're faster, and they will be cheaper very soon. My personal prediction is that within the next 30 years, we will see the end of the internal combustion engine. We will see the end of coal as a major energy source, the end of nuclear power, and the reign of fossil fuels will shrink to the size that renewables are today. Living buildings will become commonplace, and we are on the cusp of this revolution now, in my mind, which I think is pretty cool. We're only a couple decades away, I think, from this future that I've been talking about. Now, recently I relaunched my architectural practice called McLennan Design. I'm now taking a lot of the lessons I've learned with the Living Building Challenge over the last decade back out into the world. And our firm is working on some notable projects like the William Jefferson Clinton Orphanage in Haiti that shows that you can use design to do good in the world. This beautiful project, LEED Platinum project, was designed by my partner Tom Knittel with the U.S. Green Building Council, and will be the greenest and most beautiful orphanage in the world, because everybody deserves good design, and everybody deserves a green building that's healthier to be in. And our firm donated all of our services to this project. Another notable project that we're working on is an incredible project at Yale Divinity School in New Haven to create an entire campus expansion that is centered around creating a new paradigm for living and being that aligns spiritual values around ecological stewardship with architecture that becomes the backdrop for academic life. It's an incredibly important whole campus scale living building project, and in many ways is the most important project of its kind right now because of where it is and what it represents and signifies. And I want to acknowledge the visionary leadership of the Divinity School. Greg and Jim, thank you for coming. And lastly, to live up to my moniker as a troublemaker, I want to invite all of you to participate and support in a new initiative that we are officially launching right now. It's called the Green Warrior Society, which provides a structured way for builders, engineers, architects, and other disciplines to give back and provide much-needed professional services to help nonprofit organizations needing green facilities around the world. Buildings that are healthier and have lower operating costs are needed the most by people who typically have the least to pay. The Green Warrior Society will work with nonprofits doing important work in the fields of environmental and social justice around the world. And as an example of how the program works, in the last year our firm donated time not only for the orphanage in Haiti, but also to produce a memorial for soldiers lost in the shooting down of a helicopter in the 7th Battalion, 158th Regiment in Afghanistan, which included the son of my business partner, Dale Spencer. We are currently raising funds for its construction, and the military has already donated a Chinook to the memorial, and it's meant to be holding hands. You know, any donations are welcome for this one. A growing list of leadership firms are signing on, from architecture and engineering firms and others, to be part of this founding circle, this new initiative of the Green Warrior Society. And you can see their names and logos on the site. And we need construction and engineering firms to join on next. So that's your cue. You can find out how to get your company involved at www.greenwarriorsociety.org, which just went live, I hope, a few minutes ago. Now, my belief is that sustainability should be for everyone, regardless of income level or social position. I believe that we are at our best when we open our hearts and have a call to help those in need, have a call to service, and use the talents we have been given to contribute. And I believe that every project should be a living building, free of carcinogens and toxic chemicals, and free of the tyranny of air pollution and climate change. Finally, I want to encourage all of you to bring forth your best efforts to create change in the world, to take risks, to be bold, and to make a difference. And I toast all of you. Thank you so much.